After weeks of negotiations with their employer, the shock of being told they had lost their job was for many too much to bear. The United Nations Refugee and Works Agency in Gaza says lack of donor funding means it doesn't have enough money, and so jobs must go.
I've been told that I will no longer have a full-time job after the 31st of August. Then we will only be able to work part-time until the end of the year. Then my job will end. I'm really sad, not just for me, but for my colleagues that have families.
This is the office of the head of the UN agency's operations in Gaza. Matthias Shamali was chaperoned out of the building on Monday night by Hamas guards, protecting him from the angry crowd. The head of the workers' union here says strikes by employees will continue and threaten to close down UN aid distribution, medical centres and schools if the jobs are not reinstated.
We were not expecting this from a humanitarian organisation like UNRWA. We've tried to find a solution for 3 weeks since negotiations started, but it looks like they had their own agenda from the start.
The UN Refugee and Works Agency says it needs around $217 million to sustain its work in Gaza this year. It says an emergency appeal for money from international donors has failed.
UNRWA here in Gaza have suffered years of shortfalls in their funding as the crisis here has got worse. This latest announcement not only has devastating implications for Palestinian employees at UNRWA, but potentially for UNRWA's work in general across Gaza as the people here continue to suffer Israel's blockade.
More than half of Gaza's population relies on humanitarian aid from the UN organisation. The job cuts show just how desperate the situation has become in Gaza. Conditions for the 2 million people living here continue to deteriorate, and finding a lasting political solution to ending the violence between Hamas and Israel remains remote. Stratford, Al Jazeera, Gaza.